Have you ever noticed how silence can sometimes feel louder than noise? Imagine walking into a senior's home on a Sunday afternoon. The sunlight filters softly through the curtains. A clock ticks on the wall, and a television murmurs in the background. But no voices of family,
No footsteps of friends.
no laughter from neighbors. That silence, heavy and persistent, is not just quiet. For many seniors, it is loneliness. And loneliness in seniors is not the same as sadness. It's deeper, more dangerous, and it changes lives in ways many of us don't see until it's too late. Today, we are going to explore 7 powerful signs of loneliness in seniors that show it's not just sadness. We'll do this not by listing cold facts, but by stepping into the real lives of people like Mary Lou in Florida, John in Ohio, Dolores in California, and Nancy in Texas. Seniors who bravely shared their experiences of loneliness. Through their voices, you will see how loneliness weaves itself into daily habits, into health, into memory, and even into the very will to live. And, more importantly, we'll explore how each of these signs can be softened, healed,
Even reversed with compassion.
connection, and purpose. Let me begin with Mary Lou's story. Mary Lou was married for 45 years. When her husband passed, her children, though loving, lived far away, one in Chicago, another in Seattle. At first, she tried to keep busy. She watched television, cooked meals, and told herself she was fine. But then small changes crept in. She stopped cooking real dinners, saying, "Why make a pot roast when it's just me?" She began keeping the TV on all day, not because she loved the programs, but because the voices made her house feel less empty. Mary Lou wasn't simply sad, she was lonely, and that loneliness began to shape her entire life. The first sign of loneliness is withdrawal from activities once loved. This withdrawal doesn't happen overnight. Seniors who once loved attending church services, playing cards with friends, or joining community classes slowly fade away. Dolores, a retired teacher from California, adored her book club. For years, Thursday evenings were her highlight. But after her husband passed, she said, it felt strange to walk into the club alone. It's not that they weren't welcoming, she explained, but everyone seemed to come in pairs, and I felt like an extra puzzle piece that didn't fit. Her absence wasn't about losing interest in books. It was about the quiet, invisible burden of loneliness. When seniors begin to withdraw from social spaces, we might assume they're simply tired, but often their energy has been drained by the weight of isolation. And this brings us to an important truth. Loneliness doesn't just affect the mind. It reshapes behavior. One day missed becomes 1 month missed. And before long, seniors who were once the life of the gathering are missing from every gathering. The second sign is decline in physical health without obvious cause. Loneliness is not just an emotion, it's a biological stressor. The National Institute on Aging has shown that loneliness increases levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, which weakens the immune system and accelerates heart problems. John, a retired veteran in Ohio, used to walk a mile every morning. His neighbors admired his consistency, but after his wife passed away, he lost motivation. "What's the point of walking?" he asked. His body was still capable, his legs still strong, But loneliness drained his energy the way winter drains the color from leaves. His doctor couldn't find a physical reason for his fatigue. The real cause was social isolation. Loneliness was weakening his health from the inside out. The third sign is changes in eating habits. Food is one of the most social experiences humans share. For decades, seniors may have cooked meals for families, hosted dinners, and found joy in feeding others. But once loneliness settles in, that joy fades. Grace, a 74-year-old from New York, stopped cooking her famous chicken soup. "It feels silly," she admitted, "to make a whole pot for just me." So she began living on crackers, soup from cans, and occasional takeout.
Some seniors go the opposite direction, overeating snacks, filling emptiness with constant grazing. Both extremes are signs of loneliness, showing how deeply it infiltrates even something as essential as nourishment. The fourth sign is cognitive decline that seems faster than normal aging. Families often panic, assuming dementia. But studies show that socially isolated seniors experience cognitive decline almost twice as quickly as socially connected seniors. Nancy from Texas noticed this firsthand. At 72, she started forgetting her grocery list, something she had never done before. Her daughter worried it was Alzheimer's. But when Nancy joined a weekly senior center exercise class, something shifted. Engaging in conversation, laughing, learning new routines, it all stimulated her mind. Within months, her memory felt sharper. Loneliness had been masquerading as memory loss. When the loneliness was softened by connection, her brain regained strength. The fifth sign is reliance on television or devices as surrogate companions. Many seniors confess, "The TV keeps me company." In fact, in YouTube comments on senior-focused channels, you'll often read lines like, "YouTube is my roommate." It sounds humorous, but it reflects a painful truth. Seniors leave TVs on not to watch, but to hear voices. They scroll through endless videos, not for learning, but for presence. Digital devices can be lifelines, but when they become the only voice in a senior's life, it is a red flag of loneliness. The sixth sign is emotional numbness. Unlike sadness, which may come with tears, numbness comes with silence of the heart. Seniors stop crying, but they also stop laughing. They describe life as a blur of days, each one identical to the last.
Joseph, an 80-year-old in Michigan, told his daughter, "I don't feel sad. I don't feel happy either. I just exist." That numbness is dangerous because it strips life of color. Seniors aren't asking for joy every moment, but without any emotional highs or lows, existence feels like drifting without anchor. The seventh sign is loss of purpose. Purpose is oxygen for the spirit.
When seniors lose their roles as parents, workers, or caregivers,
They may feel invisible. Helen, a retired nurse at 79, confessed, "I feel like the world no longer cares what I do." Without purpose, loneliness grows like weeds in an untended garden. But when Helen began volunteering at a local library, reading stories to children, her sense of usefulness returned. "They look forward to me," she said with a smile, "and that makes me feel alive again." By now, you can see why loneliness is not just sadness. Sadness might pass with time. Loneliness digs deeper. It erodes health, memory, and willpower. According to the CDC, loneliness increases risk of dementia by 50%, heart disease by 29%, and stroke by 32%. These numbers remind us loneliness is as serious as smoking, obesity, or high blood pressure. But unlike those, loneliness often goes unseen because it hides behind closed doors. So, what can we do? Let's walk through practical steps inspired by seniors who have overcome loneliness. First, awareness. Families and caregivers must learn to recognize subtle signs. If a senior stops cooking, starts missing church, or begins keeping the TV on day and night, those are signals, not quirks. Don't dismiss them. Listen carefully. Second, small connections matter. Mary Lou's life shifted when she joined an online group for widows. Just seeing familiar faces on a screen gave her reason to get dressed, to smile, to feel human again. John, the veteran, regained energy when a neighbor offered to walk with him each morning. Grace rediscovered joy in her chicken soup when her granddaughter asked for a bowl. These moments prove that loneliness can be chipped away by the simplest gestures of connection. Third, build meaningful routines. Aimless days are lonely days. Seniors thrive when they have daily goals: watering plants, calling a friend, writing in a gratitude journal. Purpose gives structure, and structure keeps loneliness from spreading. Fourth, embrace new passions. It's never too late to learn something new. Seniors across the U.S. are learning painting, piano, or even foreign languages online. These hobbies not only enrich the mind, but also open new social circles. Dolores, once shy about returning to her book club, joined an online discussion about classic novels. It felt safe, she said, because everyone was new to each other. Slowly, her love for books became a bridge to new friends. Fifth, foster intergenerational ties. Seniors often feel invisible, but children and grandchildren can light them up. Nancy's grandchildren once asked her to teach them baking. "I didn't realize they cared about what I know," she laughed. That simple act restored her pride and sense of worth. Invite seniors to share wisdom stories, recipes, life lessons. Their knowledge is a treasure, and sharing it reignites purpose. Sixth, encourage volunteering. Purpose grows when seniors contribute. Helen's library work is one example, but across America, seniors volunteer in schools, hospitals, and food banks. Each act of service reminds them, "I matter. My time is valuable." Finally, communities must step up. Churches, senior centers, libraries, even online platforms can create spaces for connection. Isolation is not solved by one person alone. It requires a web of caring hands. So as we close, let's return to the image of that quiet house. The clock ticking, the TV humming, the silence heavy. Now imagine that silence broken by a phone call, a knock at the door, laughter around a table, or even a smile exchanged in a community hall. That transformation is possible. Loneliness is not destiny. It's a signal asking us to act. And here's my question for you. Do you recognize any of these 7 signs in yourself or in someone you love? If you do, Please share your story in the comments below. Your words may encourage someone else to take the first step out of isolation. Share this video with a senior, a neighbor, or a family member who may need it. And don't forget to subscribe to Verdant Ears, because every week we bring stories, strategies, and hope for seniors who want to live with joy, meaning, and connection. Loneliness is not just sadness, it is a call for compassion, and together we can answer that call.